we have the document that's been edited for me. You've gotten it by email, you've opened it up, and this is what you see. In order to be sure that you can see all the editing changes, click that Review tab. Make sure that it shows all markup here. So be sure to select that. So the trick here is to get to each of the changes and be sure that you see each one. Be sure that you do not use the next in the comment portion. You want to use the next in the changes portion, because this next button will take you to each of the in-text tracked changes as well as each of the comments. If you use this next button, it will only take you to the comments, and then you'll be missing a lot of the in-text tracked changes. So we'll start by clicking next to jump to the first change. Now sometimes it's hard to see where the change is because it might be just one character. So after clicking the next button, you can hold down the shift key and move the right arrow key, and it'll start highlighting for you where your insert position is. So now that I see it's down there at the bottom, I'm going to scroll that up into view, and we can scroll the document over to the left so that we can also see the margins where the black vertical bar is. And so then we can see, oh yeah, I need to add an apostrophe here. So you can highlight it and click the Accept button, which will then also move to the next change automatically. If you don't want to move automatically to the next change, then you can click the drop down there and click just Accept this change, and you can see now that that vertical bar after accepting the change is removed from the left-hand margin, and that apostrophe appears there now. So let's go to the next change. We'll click that next button again in the changes section, and it highlights here, and it looks like an underline. See, it looks like an underline, but that's actually indicating that a space needs to be added there. So what we're going to do is we're going to accept this change and then let it move us automatically to the next one by using that Accept button in the changes section. So I click Accept and it jumps to the next one. Again, if you're not sure where it's jumped to, hold down the shift key and hit the right arrow key, and you can start seeing where your insertion point is. So I'll scroll that up so it's easier to see, and we can see that there's both some corrections here in text as well as the highlighting means there's a comment. Well, let's accept this change in text, but then it shows that there's still a comment there, and we can click over in the comment to read what it says. And it says include the parents' names, and in this report we're supposed to use the initials, and so we can read that comment. How do you get rid of the comment? Well, for the comment, you can right click it and say delete comment, and then that comment will go away and your insertion point will drop back to where that comment had been. So let's scroll back so we can see the whole document again. We're going to go to the next change again by clicking that little next arrow button. We see, oh, there's a word that's been deleted here. It was also reported that AB tends to always take longer. Well, we deleted that. If we want, we can right click and accept that deletion, and now it automatically takes that out. So now we click the next button to go to the next change. We see that, oh, there's a parentheses that I missed. I'll scroll that into view. There's a parentheses that was missed. We should add that in. Now, if I want, I can actually type that myself, that closed parentheses myself, and it will replace it and consider that as an accepted change. Let's go to the next change. It's the next line down. Oh, I forgot that period. So I'm going to just type a period myself, and that indicates that the change has been accepted. So now we're going to go to the next change, which turns out to be a comment. So by using next change, it also stops at each of the comments. It says well done section. Yay, I feel good about that, but I don't need to keep that comment in my document. So I'm going to right click and say delete comment. So now we're going to go to the next change, and I see, oh, it looks like there's several changes here. So if I want to accept several changes at once, I can highlight all of those changes and click the accept button in the changes thing, and it will accept all of those changes and automatically jump to the next change. So let's do that. Oh, there's another change on this line, so it's good that we didn't miss that. There's an apostrophe here, so we better make that change. Okay, so let's go to the next change. Oh, there's another change on this line. It deleted the comma, added a period, and added some spaces. So I can highlight those changes and click just accept this change. And now you see that the bar in the left-hand margin is gone. That means I've completed all of the changes that were on that line. So be sure that you don't have any black bars in the left-hand margin before handing in the revised document. So we're going to now jump to the next change. Let's say that I don't want to accept this suggestion. So I'm going to click the reject button, and then it will move to the next change after that. But let's just do the drop down and reject only this change so you can see what happens before we move to the next one. So it takes out that change and leaves it to the way it was prior to the suggestion, sends it back to the original. So now let's jump to the next change. Down here, again, if you're not sure where the insertion point is, hold the shift key and move to the right so you can see, oh yeah, there it is, it's down at the bottom. So it looks like there are several corrections that we want to make here, and oh yes, those do make sense. So I'm going to say accept this change, and it accepts all those highlighted changes. Now we're going to jump to the next change, and oh, I see there's a deletion of a part here. I guess that wasn't needed. I should spend some time figuring out why it was deleted before just accepting it, but after contemplation it makes sense why it was deleted, so I'm going to say accept that deletion, and there it is. Well, that was the last change in the document, and if we scroll all the way to the top and all the way to the bottom, we'll see that there are no vertical black bars in the left-hand margin, which means I've found all of the changes that were suggested. So I'm done. In fact, if I try to go to the next change and click next, it will let me know that there aren't any comments or tracked changes left in the document, so I can click OK.